Yo, 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 this is the No Face Podcaster. You all can call me Nomad. I don't know what's going on with my comment section, but I can't see anything. So if you are in the show and you're commenting, you're saying anything, I cannot see it for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe I need a refresh. But nevertheless, this won't be a hell of a long show. So this is my second episode. We did our first episode on Friday and I had my producer with me, my guy Chris Washington, who's a friend of mine also. Um, Sometime somewhere in between that show on Friday night and Saturday, sometime Saturday, whether it's Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, my friend lost his life. And why am I mentioning this? I've been saying it. I have two other podcasts that I do. It's called Nomad Live and Nomad at Night, and I mention it on both of them. So why am I doing it on Nomad TV? It's because we spent a lot of time getting this show together. He put a lot of work into it. I put a lot of work into it, and we're proud of it. And so I was prepared. We were prepared to do a whole bunch of content, and I still will. And matter of fact, we're going to barrage you with content, so you're going to get either used to me or tired of me, one of the two, real quick. But yeah, so that was the hiccup. So since Friday, it's been a long, 48 to 72 hours, more than 72 hours. It's been emotional for me. So I just wanted to put that out there as because I came in here and did the show with a whole bunch of big expectations about what was going to happen to us, and it's still here. You're gonna get a lot more content out of me. So do what it says on the bottom of the screen, like, share, and subscribe, man. Because I'm telling you, if you like content and different genres of it, I know I've done two Puffy stories so far, but I think it's worth doing it, and I'm gonna tell you why here in a second. I think we all should take the opportunity, as men in society, black men in particular. I'm gonna talk to the black people in particular, but men, anybody, any man, any woman, any child can actually receive what I'm about to say. But I want to talk to the black community in particular because I hear a lot of stuff, and I know a bunch of people are doing P Diddy videos right now, and seem like I'm just going with the flow and being messy. No, I'm not, because I'm gonna explain myself thoroughly here tonight. As a man, I do feel an obligation to do my part with the platform that I have to expose men like this. It's guys like this that really give stand-up guys in this society a really bad name, to be quite frank with you. And just this is just I've been studying this guy for quite some time, man. When I got wind of it, being a musician, I hear about all the stuff that the artist said about him, his former artists. And, I start tracking the story back then. And so the type of man this is, it's hard for me to call him a man. I said I wouldn't on the last show, but I'm a habit forming person just like anybody else. And you can't help but to do that. He's less than that, a lot less than that. In fact, I just heard a story right before I came on here live that he went and quasi attacked Patti LaBelle. In fact, his bodyguard attacked the son of hers. And so when you don't have regard for someone like, I mean, not Patti LaBelle, but Shaka Khan. My mistake, it was Shaka Khan. When you can't hold a Shaka Khan in regard, Shaka Khan is on the same plane as a Stevie Wonder to me. You see a Stevie Wonder or a Shaka Khan, it's like, hey, Mr. Wonder, how you doing? Anything I can do for you, just let me know. Blah, blah, blah. Just like that. Same thing with Shaka Khan. Hey, Miss Khan, whatever I can do for you, you let me know, blah, blah, blah. You don't come out of your skin towards that. They're like human royalty, if there ever was any, dignified. And the story I just heard from Shaka Khan's daughter was this dude basically attacked her. If her son hadn't gotten in the middle of it, he would have attacked Shaka Khan. There's a story out told by a very close associate of his that worked for him, was the president of Bad Boy Records before, allegedly, P Diddy muscled him out of his 25% of the company. And his name is Kurt Burrows. Kurt Burrows tells a story, and I get the story, secondhand from guys like Gene Deal, who I watch his podcast all the time. Tisa tells another podcaster, and respect to them for carrying the story. Um, he apparently, allegedly, smacked his mother. Smacked his mother, and for that, I mean, just think about that for a second. Let that sit in. Let that sit in for a second. Someone that smacks their mother. What the Sam hell chance does a female in acquaintance with him? What chance does she have towards respect? What chance does she have towards respect? And so, right there, right then and there, when you hear, and this is when he's an adult. He's making money. He's a millionaire by now. He's built a company. He's making millions of dollars by now, and he I guess the lack of upbringing, the respect in his childhood, led him to that type of behavior with his mother. I can't even fathom. My mind can't even fathom the thought. I feel like it'd be a reaction from a distance from my mother if I thought something like that. It's just, man, anybody that would put hands on their mom is less than a man to me. And so this is why I feel obligated to use my platform, raise my voice, and speak to it as a man should. Because people like that, you can't exist around me. You cannot exist around me. You know what I mean? And anybody in our community, anybody in the Black community, and I said this before on the last show, we have to stop making excuses for people like him. If the goal, and I know the goal, is always to uplift the community in any way possible, the first thing we got to do is stop making damn excuses, especially for things like this you see on the screen. And I've used this picture on purpose because his hairline is eaten back, and that's not what he looks like in normal photos. And I'm pretty sure whoever took this photo of him, he wants to probably hurt them because they put it out there. That's not what he wants the world to see. He's got hair patches and thread, and I don't know what the hell they do with these things now, man. But he's got all kinds of stuff going on just for men, all that stuff going on. By the time he takes a picture, he looks like $1 million bucks, but that's not him. This is what he looks like behind the scene. This is what he looks like. If he acts like what he looks, he might not be in as much trouble as he is. But he acts like his shoe size. He acts just like his shoe size. And I'm embarrassed to call him a Black man because he represents, and you know what? It's not like he hasn't done things that were good. I think the one thing that I can say he did good was help usher out the vote. And I think he did that for nefarious reasons. He's basically a narcissistic sociopath is what he is. That's what you would call a guy like this. He does everything for the greater good of himself. And when you've got pretty much $1 billion, there's not much you can gain. You've bought everything you want. Probably seen every woman that you want. It's about power and control after that. So here you are, a 36, 38-year-old man dating a 18, 19-year-old girl. That girl goes by the name of Cassie. There's nothing wrong with, I guess, a person is of legal age. She can submit to any kind of relationship she wants, right? But that's, you know what I mean? But as a man, like, dog, dude, what are we doing, man? She's still a girl, but she's technically, legal. But she's still a girl, technically. So that mindset, what made me cue up to P Diddy is I noticed when I went back and started looking at the old videos. And I noticed right away that the very first video I saw of Bad Boy Records, he was all over that video. He was all over that video and pretty much every video from Bad Boy since. That told me that was the narcissism right then and there. And that just mushroomed from there. After that, Notorious Big passed away. And guys, I'm gonna get to comments here in a section. We're gonna interact here in a minute. But that led to the ego. After Notorious Big died, the ego just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And he's an untalented man. He doesn't have a skill set. He can't rap. He can't sing. He can't produce. Can't play any instruments. But his name is all over credits for doing all of those things. Can't write. So what he's done, and this goes to the structure in the business model that I was talking to you guys about before. The structure and the business model that he bought himself into. And we're going to get to the devil and his contract here in just a second, because that's important to what I'm leading into. The power structure, the business structure that he signed himself off into was to get, ironclad contracts on his artists and somehow finagle his way to get the production credits, the writing credits, and all the publishing credits, the whole 9 yards, to get a piece of it all and minimize the value of the artist that actually created the sounds, whether it be the producer, the writer and the singer or rapper. It's a business model. That's the deal he signed. That's the deal he signed. You do business this way. You do business this way, but sir, if I do it this way, they won't make any. No, this is the way we do business. If you want in with this group, we're about to sign this contract for you that you're about to sign. This is what you do. You rob them. You take complete control of them. And financially, by the time you get done with them, they're ruined. They'll be dependent on you. This stuff is the devil's work. I'm not a biblical guy. I'm not going to hold you. I respect everybody in their religions. Truthfully, I really do, man. People in their religions, I try not to get into it because it ends up being an argument and something I don't want to deal with. I'm not biblical. But if you believe in the entity of evil, and if you want to associate the name the devil with it, he has signed a bargain 100% with it. If you buy any of that way of thinking, he has definitely done that. Wouldn't you believe? Right? And so with that being said, he goes down the road, most people travel that want to be popular and want to be in the entertainment business. He goes down that road, the road paved. And this is what he encounters. But once you go down that road, ain't no turning back. Ain't no turning back. This is part of how he becomes who he is. This is the type of man he's and I'm going back to the very first days. This is the type of man that he is. He's becoming. His upbringing, led him down that road too. If you have no respect for your mother, I don't know what you have respect for in this world. And Cliff Victoria, here he is. Egomaniacs are the ones that take all the credit for themselves. Yep, narcissistic ones at that. Cornelius Squalls, too much money and too much power absolutely corrupts. I don't, you know what, Cornelius, man, I don't think everybody subscribes to that. I don't think everybody subscribes to that. Personally, I can't see anywhere in the world, no matter how much money I had, I don't see a world where I become, obtuse to loving and caring for people and getting vile and disrespectful towards people that I care about. Definitely not gonna put my hands on my mama. Ain't no world and no amount of money gonna bring me to that. And Cliff Victoria is saying, love of money is the root to all evil. I don't know if I subscribe to that. I think all of it has symptoms. All of it has symptoms. All money does, in my opinion, is basically blow up the individual that you are in the first place. Just expand it. And so whatever you were on the inside, you just become a lot more of, on the exterior, the more and more money you get. So whatever rotten egg that's inside of him with the worm and whatever is inside this cat, it just grew and grew more. And so here's the part of that devil's bargain that got him to where he's at today. When you sign that bargain, and I don't know exactly what that bargain looks like, but I hear stories. I lived enough life to know some things. Once you start doing things, and once people can get you to do things, they just want you to do more and more of it. I'll just say that. They just want you to do more and more of it. And the more and more things you get away with, the more and more you get emboldened to do more. So if I've done, there is no telling y'all. I'm telling you guys right now, there is no telling what's gonna come out on this cat. I'm betting this is the very, very, very sharp tip of the iceberg. Everything that you've seen thus far, and just a new allegation just came out on him not too long ago. It was I think it was his fifth lawsuit. Fifth lawsuit. A lady by the name of Cynthia something, a former model, accused him. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me read some of the charges against him because I got this open and I wanted to show you guys on the screen, but it had too much language in it, and I didn't have the tools to brush the language off, so I don't know how to do that yet. So I'll just read it to you guys if you don't mind. This is the fifth. I'm reading you this from Forbes. So anybody that wants to check this out can go to Forbes right now. This is a 11-hour old article, so it's right there on the top. A fifth woman has come forward in Sean Diddy Combs' misconduct. I'm gonna omit some words, people. I'm gonna omit some words because I can't say certain things on YouTube. In a misconduct lawsuit filing New York on Tuesday, claiming that the rapper gave her illicit substances before assaulting her and sending her home in a cab. Latest controversy involving the rapper has faced his home. Blah 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 blah. Let me get to the next part. That woman's name is Cynthia McKinney. Let me get to the next part of this. And this talks about this lawsuit makes McKinney makes the fifth woman to come forth with accusations against Combs, starting in November when Combs was sued by ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, otherwise known as Cassie, for alleged taking advantage of her in 2018 and subjecting her to years-long abusive relationship, included physical abuse and the assertion of complete control of her personal and professional life. Ventura's $30 million lawsuit against Combs was settled a day after it was filed. Let me stop right there. And so, all right, the lawsuit Cassie filed, she filed, and it was a 6-month process for her to actually get him to move on anything. So for 6 months, she was fighting with this guy privately to give her, the sum that she was asking for as compensation. He refused. She dropped the lawsuit. Her and her attorneys dropped the lawsuit. That next day, he settled the lawsuit with her. But somehow in that lawsuit, I'm sure he was able to get her not to in that lawsuit and something with the agreement. I bet that he was able to get her to keep out some of the information that was in that lawsuit, because you got to go to the court and you got to supply them with evidence for them to take the lawsuit on. And so there was stuff in those documents, and they had evidence that we don't know about yet. But some of the stuff that's come forward, like the hotel video that came out, that was, I'm sure, part of it. And somehow that was leaked out. That was part of it that he was trying to keep suppressed. And just think about that for a second. A day later, he settles the lawsuit, and right after that, he puts this statement out talking about these accusations against me are false. Just because I agree with because I settled this lawsuit doesn't mean I'm guilty of what I'm being accused of. Bullshit. Not only that, he carried on further because people kept dragging it. He carried it even further. Enough is enough. Remember that? Anybody see that statement? Enough is enough. And he went on to say something like, he's, getting sick of the accusations against him, people accusing him of horrible things. This got to stop. The truth will come out soon. And he's been sending cryptic messages since. And this is in between the actual Cassie settlement and the video that came out. And so after the video came out, what was it, a day later, 2 days later, he goes on camera and issued the wackest damn apology I ever heard in my life. I don't even consider that an apology. I don't even consider it an apology. That was, I'm sorry I got caught. What can I do to take care of my image? Go out here and try to fall on the sword. I wish I can show you guys that video of that right now, because I saw pure evil in that dude's eyes. That's all I looked at. I didn't hear a word that came out of his mouth. I looked in his eyes. I looked straight in his damn eyes. That is pure evil. Look at that video where he called himself apologizing and didn't mention Cassie's name one time. Look at that video. Look in his eyes. Turn off the volume and look in his eyes. If there's a such thing as a devil, it was looking at you in that video. And so my thing is this. This guy has to be excommunicated from any part of loving society, man. People will say, people that go to church all the time say everybody needs to be forgiven. You can forgive him. You can forgive him. But I know that's an it. I know there's no redemption for him. I know there's no redemption for him. Only thing that could happen, and if he got away with it, is he'll probably go more underground with his behaviors. People like that don't change. And so anybody that has it in their hearts to forgive him, I respect him for that. But I don't, no. You just creating a problem for somewhere else. That problem is going to show itself somewhere else. And who knows what happens, what's the result of that? Somebody could lose their life. Somebody can literally lose their life letting the cat, like, he don't belong on the streets. He doesn't belong amongst us in society. And I'm telling you, there's going to be stuff that comes out on this guy. And I hope they open up reopen the investigation into Kim Porter's past. That's his ex-girlfriend, mother of a couple, 2-3 years of his kids. That was suspicious. It's a lot of little things in and around that story. Maybe I'll cover that in another video someday. But yeah, that whole thing, they need to reopen that and investigate, because there's a lot of suspicion around it. I'm not giving this dude a break. And my problem with him is other people. And so for a long time, people see these so-called celebrities, these worship idols of theirs, because they have a lot of money and because they have a lot of things. And every time you see them, they're shining. They got new cars. They got all this jewelry, going out to fancy places to eat, all vacationing everywhere. And that's what your average person aspires to be. And so that's why you hear people coming out kind of that were enforced before the video, but kind of got quiet since the video. Oh, you trying to take down another black billionaire? Nobody trying to. Man, look, this dude took himself down. My problem is you trying to hold him up. What you trying to hold him up for? Let me read some comments. Dashad, you think Diddy is untouchable? I don't think anybody's untouchable, and I'm gonna tell you why. And that's because the paradigm, man. And if what I'm about to say is a little bit deep, but I'm gonna say it in simple ways, man, in a very simple way. I think the paradigm has shifted. Matter of fact, I know it has. And anybody that understands what I'm about to say to you can relate to it. You don't have to explain it to them. The frequency has raised. The frequency. The frequency and the waves that exist around you has raised. And so therefore, the people like him that exist underneath that wave of frequency and don't vibrate to the higher frequency, they get left behind and get exposed for what they are. There was a day when a guy like him, you would be right. Absolutely, the Shy. He was absolutely untouchable. And he knew it. At one time, the Shy, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. But that day has passed. That day is behind us. And my message to you all listening to my voice today is to recognize it. Meet the frequency where it is. Raise your vibration to where it is. And you will find out really quick once you get there. If you're not there already, I'm not going to accuse people of not being there. It's probably a lot of you guys there. And ladies, you will start noticing everything beneath frequency has certain behaviors. And they're ugly. And they'll be as clear as day to you. You will notice them just walking up into a grocery store. You'll notice them just rolling around, riding around, doing whatever you're doing. Sometimes it might be family members, it might be friends. Here's the truth about it. We're going to lose a lot of them. We're going to lose a lot of them because they can't raise. A lot of them. And I don't mean, no, I'm not just talking about people in the black, I'm definitely talking about every race, creed, and color. If you can't raise your frequency, raise and vibrate up to that frequency, you'll find yourself beneath the frequency, and any and everything happens beneath there. That's what we're dealing with right now. It's a spiritual awakening, bro. It's really a spiritual awakening, is what it is, without getting too religious, biblical, and spiritual about it. That's what it's called. And so it's a great thing that's happening. It's a great thing that's happening. And you know, I feel bad for people that can't reach that frequency, man. You know, sometimes people's deeds like him will never allow him to reach that frequency. Never. He's got too many demons, too many skeletons. Too many. The things that this dude has done that I know he's done. I can look at his eyes and tell he did most of the stuff that these people have accused him of. I'm from the street. I've seen wicked. I've seen evil dead in the face. I know it when I see it. He is it. He is it. And the bad thing about it is so many people worshiped him. The worst thing about it for him is that's what he really ate up, was the idea that I can, you know, whenever I beck and call, people come flocking to me. Whenever I want to have a party, everybody and their mama gonna show up. Because if they don't, I'm gonna find out about it and I'm gonna do something about that. You're gonna get blackballed, you're gonna get all that power that he had. And people came and worship, bow down to him. Bow down to him. Why? Is because they were in line with their hands out to get access to whatever he could help supply. And if that meant, you know, okay, I do certain things, you give me certain things. Yeah, that happened. I wasn't in the business, got adjacent to it, heard stuff, lived in Atlanta. As soon as I got too close to it, it was just like, oh, no, sir. No, sir. Mama ain't raised this one like that, you know. And you know the video, I mean the thumbnail it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but it's not me poking fun at maybe his alleged sexuality. It's not me doing that. What it's doing is showing, like, just think about that thumbnail for a second. All those cameras, you look at it, all those cameras around. He did that out in the open, hugged up with a dude, and supposedly in a relationship with a woman. Okay, some people say that's bisexual. All right, but that's not the way he was living. That's not the way he was presenting. He came across and wanted people to believe he's a heterosexual man. My problem with that is, dude, if you about that kind of life, the respectful thing to do is to live that life and be out in the open with it. I know it's not easy for a lot of people. I understand that. I got relatives that go different with different lifestyle. I know, but the problem is you're constantly back and forth in between them, and they don't necessarily know it. You don't know if you're given diseases. You don't know, and if you do know and then freely giving them, that makes you even worse. And guess what? Everybody else, it might be females that one of us might like, ends up with that female after him. That's the problem I have with it. Tainting the pot for everybody else. And so, it's just, man, this dude, I won't, I'm telling you, probably the next couple of videos I do probably won't have anything to do with P Diddy, but I am not going to stay off his dome. I'm not going to stay off his dome. I'm going to get on him every chance I get when I see opportunity, because it's people like him that keep us as members of the Black community ass backwards, because we look up to the wrong people. We absolutely look up to the wrong people. And reasons for looking up to the wrong people are very simple. Because someone has money, because someone has power, because someone looks successful. All the money in the world, you can be unsuccessful. You could be a sorry MFer, man, with a whole lot of money. And that's what this dude is. Straight out the gate. He's sorry. And I'm ashamed that he's a Black man. It really it took me a while to be even in a situation where I can talk about this calmly. If you were next to me like my girlfriend was when this video came out, she was just like, "Hey man, go get a drink or something, man." I would live it. This cat, dude, at first, might have been one of those people like, I'm gonna wait. I ain't gonna judge the cat until, let me see, let me see what comes out. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I suspected there's probably some truth to it. And when that video came out, and I was just, man, oh man, oh man. I'm telling you guys, people look up to the wrong people in our community, man. People look up to the wrong people. And that has to change. That has to change. This gatekeeper is what he is. You heard that terminology, I'm sure, many times. Gatekeeper. It's what he is. It's like, in order for you to get access to expose your talents to the world, you have to first go through us. Who's us? I'm one of them. Talking about Diddy, allegedly. What do I have to do to get through that gate, sir? Well, it's going to be several things. That world that set up the infrastructure for him to be the kind of person that he is slowly crumbling. Matter of fact, no, it's not even slow anymore. It's crumbling fast. It's crumbling. Excuse me. It's crumbling fast. And there's got to be a new way of doing business. People should not have to deal with the likes of this just to get their music out there, just to get a role in a movie. You shouldn't have to deal with the likes of this. But that's the way this structure is currently. So what am I saying to you? There is a restructure going on. There's a restructure going on. Before I get out of here, I'm going to say this to you, though. That contract that this cat has signed, it has expired. Whatever. It had a term limit. And if certain things were to happen, I think what it was, he stopped making the money, the people that put him together. Let me read some of his comments here in a second, man. Um, he stopped making the money, he no longer was useful. What was he good for other than a party and promoting the liquor? What was he good for? That's only gonna get you so far. It's only gonna get you so far. Let me read some of these comments. My man Cornelius Squalls, what's up, man? Uh, you know who I'm pissed with? I'm pissed with LT and Stephen A. Smith. That's who I'm pissed with. LT, LT, LT. I don't know who LT is. Stephen A. Smith, man. Look, Cornelius, man. Let me tell you something. Man, I stopped watching that Buster a long time ago. A long time ago. I see him on a thumbnail. I see him on my TV screen. It's hurrying up and whipping by. I ain't got nothing for that fool. And so I'm telling you guys, that's how you know what's right and what's not, what's righteous and what's unrighteous. You got good sense. Stephen A. Smith is doing everything he's doing for a dollar amount. When you ain't got no integrity, you won't have me clicking on your stuff. I can see that lack of integrity from a mile away. Stephen A. Smith ain't got nothing for me, man. I don't got nothing, ain't got nothing good to say to him. He's an opportunist. If you do everything for money, then there's not much you won't do. I'll just put it to you that way. He's a straight up opportunist. Let me get to a couple more comments. Thank you for that, Cornelius. Let me see here. I'm reading. All right, let me read Cliff. Cliff Victoria saying most of the people I'm disgusted by are billionaires. Money and greed seem to be connected to what I call evil. Again, not every one of them, just a high percentage. To that point, I don't want to stray too far off topic because we can easily go down the rabbit hole of whataboutism, and it's true, Cliff, not wrong. But I'm going to stay focused on him. I know he's not the only one. I think he's probably lower on the totem pole of a big, huge echelon. But nevertheless, personally for me, it's about my community and how many people look up to this guy and worship him. And he's a false idol to me. It's just that's what it is for me in this conversation. But later on, as we advance these videos and do more shows, Cliff, we'll get more into what you're talking about because that definitely has some credence with me. But yeah, let me read some more of the comments. I see some stuff over there. Booby saying Stephen A. Smith, a pimp shitting on black men. You ain't lying, man. Stephen A. Smith, man, I swear to God, man. I can't say too much on this show because it's monetized, but boy, I better not roll up on his ass nowhere. I do not like that chump, man. I do not like him like I don't like this MF here on the screen. But that's a whole nother story. Let me read a few more comments, man. Let me see. And Cliff saying thanks. Let me see if I can get to some of the earlier comments, man. Yeah. I should have pulled out my mouse before I got it. I can't go up too high. But yeah, Aunt Moss is in here still with the bear stuff, man, saying bear down, look out, Aunt Moss. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, man. Before we get out of here, I just want to make sure I drive home the point of the frequency thing, man. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. It's something that I think all of us, and even if you're religious, even if you're a church, I'm not a church going person, but even if you're a religious person, I think you expand your mind by understanding what I mean by this frequency thing. And I'm telling you, it's easier for me to show you than to tell you, and just point out things to pay attention to when you go outside. You know what I mean? You could just tell. who's at that frequency and who's not. And so when you start to look at these news stories and all the crazy stuff going on around in these different communities, um, you have to understand it in that term, in those terms. It's who's up at that frequency vibrating and who's beneath the frequency. We're gonna do whole shows, and I'm gonna show you example after example after example in different videos that I do to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. And if it's just for no good reason, people just absolutely losing their shit. But there is good reason. They're beneath frequency. People are you know on meds. They're not taking their meds and just don't can't keep it together, doing the craziest stuff that you can imagine. With the meds, a lot of people can function. I ain't gonna say vibrate at the highest frequency, but they can function. But now they're so crazy they stop taking their meds now, and they don't know what to do with themselves. And so, in different videos that I'll do, I'll demonstrate to you what I see and see if you guys see it the same way. But I'm telling you, frequency is the key word. Vibration is the key word. Who's up and who's down? That's that simple. It's the difference between righteous and unrighteous. It's about that simple, man. But yeah, man, before I get out of here, I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined us today and enjoyed this video. I will be back tomorrow morning sometime with another video. I'm gonna start pumping out a bunch of content off of this podcast right here. And I'm gonna continue to do the bear stuff, of course, man. I'm getting my energy back after my boy Chris passed. And I'm slowly getting my juice back, man, but it's coming. And when I get back, you're gonna feel it, man. But I do appreciate everybody for coming and enjoying the show. We just now starting this podcast. It's going to gain some momentum. We're going to do more and more with it, spend more time working on it. And so everything starts like this at first, man. It's just a few people there, but I guarantee you keep hitting them with the facts, you keep hitting them with the righteousness, they will come. I promise you that. But I do appreciate everybody for coming, and I appreciate you guys, and see you guys, all you Bear fans, on Friday, man. We're gonna do the Nomad Live on Friday. See you guys there. But all you new people to the channel, anybody watching this for the first time, you're hearing my voice for the first time, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We can use your support. We're trying to build our community, and it's all about being righteous. I'm not here to be messy and be like everybody else and just be dogging people out. No, we're gonna do righteous content. We're gonna do good content that's gonna uplift people and uplift the community, not just the Black community. I'm talking about the human community. So that's the intent of what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some funny stuff too. So we're gonna be all over the place with it. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be serious too at the same time. So I definitely appreciate everybody for coming. And I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow when I do some new content. But before I get out of here, I gotta leave you guys with this. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.